Welcome to the In My Opinion Show. I'm your host, Ronald Barrington Robinson. Welcome to our millions of viewers worldwide, and especially to my special co-host, Mr. Henry Hatter.
Hi, Ron.
Hi. Miss Jackie Williams.
Hi, everyone.
Let's talk about Stand Up America. Ronald, I'm Brett. Stand Up America is a new political director, and one of my first tasks is to help take down another Brett Kavanaugh. I'm writing because there's a lawsuit making its way through Texas's courts now that is a thinly veiled attempt to eradicate the Affordable Care Act, including its protections for Americans with existing conditions. They're talking about if it goes through, 130 million Americans will not have any more, that have pre-existing conditions won't have any more insurance. Last year, we defeated Trump Care and saved the ACA, that's the Affordable Care Act, because people like you spoke up and shared their health care stories with their representatives. For once, Congress listened. Today, we need to do that again. It's how we're going to block Kavanaugh and protect our care. Share your health care story, and we'll send you a testimony straight to your senators' inboxes, along with a note telling them to vote no on Kavanaugh. Folks, I will give you the information, to convey Brett Kavanaugh's message. The Texas lawsuit was brought by GOP lawmakers encouraged by the Trump administration. After losing the health care fight 3 times last year, Republicans are now suing to get their way, and it's happening as they try to push through an extreme judge who would rule in favor of taking away our care. We can't go back to the days when people were denied care or penalized because of their medical conditions, age, or gender. If Kavanaugh is successful in his journey to become a Supreme Court justice, he will help repeal the ACA. Again, 130 Americans with pre-existing conditions will lose protections, including 17 million children and 68 million women. To contact Stand Up America, please write to Post Office Box 1279, New York 10276. Okay? We can't afford to let. I'm praying and hoping that Kavanaugh doesn't receive that lifetime appointment. Okay? We can't have that. You get these judges up there that's got life. And in fact, I don't think anybody should have a lifetime appointment. All right? I don't care who you are. 8 years should be sufficient. President of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, can get 8. That should be enough, even for them Supreme Court justices, regardless of what cases they're exploring or ruling on. Okay, we need fresh voices, fresh ideas in that Supreme Court, not somebody that's 100 years old. Okay, that's living in the 30s and 40s. Some of them people have been up there for the last 30 years or more. And to me, in my opinion, that's too much. All right? That's too much. Just to make a ruling, well, no, you can't do this anymore, and no, you can't do that, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? And another thing, ladies, I'm very troubled with this. How in the world can Congress, which is mostly men, tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body? Okay? That's Roe versus Wade, which might be an issue. Okay, again with the Supreme Court, and from what I've been understanding is that it was a settled law. All right, let the men that want to do away with Roe versus Wade take care of all them babies that they want these women to have. Jackie, I'm sure you have some ideas on that.
Well, yeah.
And this Brett Kavanaugh.
Okay, so let me. I got some notes. Let's go back. About the insurance, I just want everyone to understand that your Congress people have lifetime insurance. Their benefits are never in question. So when issues and situations don't apply to you, sometimes we become numb to the situation. So make sure you call your congressman, because we've been upsetting some things. You know, people who have, I think a Democrat out of Boston, he was a 10-year incumbent, and he lost to a lady,
black woman,
a black woman with no funding. Yeah. Because people are standing up. They're like, you don't share our ideas. So if your congresswoman, man, do not share your ideas, stand up.
That's right.
Get involved. Get your hands dirty. Find out what's going on. Make sure they hear that you're not happy with their voting record. Make sure they understand that you have power. There's power in you calling. Also, I was thinking about what you were talking about.
One other thing. Not only do the congressmen have lifetime insurance, but their whole families do too.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. I was going back to this appointment for this Supreme Justice is not just Roe versus Wade. I was listening to some of the information the other day, and now they're saying that birth control is considered a form of abortion. So back to, I didn't even think of it as big as what you were just saying, but now that just brings another thing to my mind. Now here you are telling us that you don't want these people to have freedom of their choices and have birth control, have abortions, which is your right. Not saying I'm in agreement with it, but it's your right to choose. But it's funny that you would tell us that you don't want anybody to be able to choose that, but you can choose not to help fund it. So you're getting rid of the things that prevent us from having all of these, as you call it, privileged things like Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood does more than just provide alternative services. It provides protection from doing other things. So it provides a bigger scope than what we focus on. So these things are choices that we all have. If you're going to take all these choices from people, then we're going to live in a dictatorship.
Yes, right.
And are you going to take care of these children? I don't know if anybody's paying attention, but people are leaving their children in cars. People are leaving their kids in Flint, Michigan. People put them on the curb for garbage.
Kill them.
So this is not healthy. And this is the thing. If somebody is telling you they're not ready to be a parent, we need to listen. We need to listen, because there's so many kids that are suffering at the hands. So this is the other side of the coin. There's so many people that are suffering at the hands of parents that weren't ready. Erica Finley the other day, a Flint native, she put the remains of her child on the railroad tracks by the Regencies. She just got sentenced the other day. They still haven't found the remains, and the only reason why they even knew that, she kept telling everybody that the little girl was visiting family members in Detroit. Only reason why they knew that something else was going on is because the little boy went to school and said, "We haven't seen my sister in years." And that's how they figured out. So my point is, when you push one, you also pushing some other things. So you need to look at the whole picture of what you're saying. You're saying that there's going to be no way out. So these kids are going to be here. Who's going to man these kids? Who's going to care for these kids? And please don't take care of them like you're taking care of the immigrants. Please, ma'am, sir, don't take care of them like you're taking care of immigration, because that's horrible.
It's horrible.
That's horrible.
And hundreds of those people, especially the men and girls and boys, have been raped by the ones that's supposed to be watching
because
them.
They're not even, these people that are caring for our immigrants have not even been vetted. They're not even doing background checks. They're just in there and they're getting bare minimum funding for doing what they do. They don't make a lot of money. So you don't know what you're putting our kids up against. And there's even been some kids that went back that were sick and eventually died. So all of that stuff, it just seemed like we got enough stuff to worry about instead of stirring a pot of something else.
Two things, these adoption agencies are overloaded, all right? That's too bad too, because of unwanted children. Also, birth control. It shouldn't just apply to women. Men should have it too.
Right.
Okay? Men should have it too. If these fools up there in Washington D.C. want to make these rules, I'm telling their wives, close the candy store on them. Okay? Close the candy store on them fools up there that are making these laws to deprive women, all right, of their rights. Close the candy store.
And before you go there, I just thought of something real quick, and then we're going to hear from you, Henry. One of the things I want everybody to understand, because somebody explained this to me and reiterated this to me the other day. Remember, before abortion was legal, what they did? They went in back rooms, and they did things that a lot of women didn't make it. And if you think by making abortion illegal is going to stop it, it's going to open that
back door.
And they're going to have things that are not to standard. People are going to die at the hands of just trying to get out. Please look at the whole picture before we make decisions. And if this guy who has already said, not only he said that Roe versus Wade was not set. First he said he didn't say anything about it, but then they found emails where he said it's not set. If you're going to revisit this case, you need to make sure that you are representing everybody. As a Supreme Court justice, I think you need to represent everybody, not just your voice, because your voice is being pushed on many people, and you need to be accountable of what your voice is doing to others.
Mr. Hatter.
Well, we're converging a number of subjects together, and I have a problem making them all work. Now, first of all, Brett Kavanaugh came from a court of appeals, not from a Supreme Court or not from a federal court judge. And apparently some of his writings, he was selected based upon his writings, based on constitutional law. And he happens to be a scholar on that. And there are many things that have probably have been written by him. I've not seen all of them. Who may be infuriate us because we don't all agree with those.
Well, it's been 180, 190,000 pages that they won't allow to be entered.
But they have the prerogative to do that.
But okay, let me ask you this question: taxpayers got to pay this guy for a lifetime if he's successful. Okay, we need to know everything about this individual.
Yeah.
Okay, everything.
If you can. They
shouldn't hold anything back. All right, and the ones that and the Democrats that have been questioning him, all right, have caught him in several lies already.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mr.
No, that's
sure
okay.
They sure did.
But I want to go also to your Jackie, your point about Planned Parenthood, and I always have these really ugly visions of how Planned Parenthood got started. Do you know who started it?
I've heard two different interpretations.
There's only one.
Okay, but I've heard
It
two
was
different.
a woman who had the vision of eradicating black babies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So that cannot, in my mind, be justifiable for supporting such an institution. And besides, women, not all women agree on Roe versus Wade. Roe v. Wade, right? They don't agree. There's some that believe in choice, and they don't follow the tendency to get an abortion. They don't support it and don't want it funded. They have a voice, and when you say men don't want it, you've construed the real facts. There are women that also, and the men must be part of that because it's a process. It's a humanity process. Why should we kill young babies, unborn babies? Because they don't have a voice. You just kill them. And we're not animals. We're supposed to be God's highest creatures. And we don't overindulge in sex so that we have illicit babies all the time. We should be taught culturally to measure how many kids we want. Like people do in some cultures. They only take the kids that they want to. I believe that my mother took the kids she wanted to. 11 of us.
I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
But that's a choice.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
but
right.
Had she been born today in your position, only 2 people would live. That would be the 2 oldest kids. But now,
right.
But there's a humanity part of Roe versus Wade, right? There's a humanity piece, and that has to do with the killing of babies. And people have this philosophy that if you kill someone, like the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill or should not covet another man's wife or whatever. Every law that you know is based on the 10 Commandments. Every law has an implication there. And then to go out and say, well, it's okay to kill babies.
Yeah, but see,
there is no high law.
no.
There's no high law. This is where you guys get it wrong. The
This is
10
not the
Commandments
other
is
guy.
not the only commands in the Bible. It also
But-
says what you have done to the least of them, you have done it to me. But wait. Let me go back. When you said that, okay, even if that was her intent when she started it, that has not been the vision of Planned Parenthood.
Don't give me that.
Well, I'm just telling you.
People still
because
do that.
Let me just say this. They can say whatever they want, but what I'm saying is, the difference is, if you want to bring the Bible into it, God gave us a choice. Big old God gave us a choice. Big old God.
Why do you want to change it?
The choice is that if I want an abortion, I can have one, and if I don't want one, it's nobody's business but mine. But I'm saying,
The choice is if I want to have a baby,
yeah.
I'm going to have a baby.
But the other piece is in Michigan. Let's go to Michigan. In Michigan alone, what did they do? Men came together and decided that even if a woman is raped, unless she has some special insurance that no one had
that
ever
was then.
heard
That
of
is
it.
all changed now.
They changed it back?
They've changed that. Men, that
When
was
did they
basically
change it?
come from the police department. Why were you in that neighborhood at 11 o'clock
No,
at
but
night
I'm saying,
and
when
she
did
got
they
raped?
change it? In Michigan, when did they change it?
So why should she have to have the baby?
Yeah.
If she was raped, all
If
right?
I'm raped, why should I have to have a baby?
Why?
Because what do you think I'm going to do to that baby if I'm not in a good frame of mind?
You know, now there is I think in that circumstance.
No, in Michigan.
Hang on, yeah, I didn't make my point
Okay,
yet.
what?
In that circumstances, I may agree with you.
But Michigan just ruled.
But just killing babies at random,
and I
just
understand
because
that.
you
I'm
want
not
to
saying-
kill
I'm
something,
not saying that,
I'm
but-
against it.
But
See, in what
in
you-
Michigan, they had ruled, and it was a big it was a big TV show on Rachel Maddow that Michigan nobody had ever heard of it, but the Republicans pushed through where you couldn't even have an abortion if you were raped. You have to have some special insurance that will cover. No one had even heard of the insurance.
Okay, what's
So-
wrong with that?
Well,
What's
some
wrong with it is
idiot
that
up
if
in
I'm a
Lansing
woman and,
that-
and somebody impregnate me, I don't care. I am very religious. I don't want to carry a seed of somebody who violated me and it grow inside of me for 9 months of somebody who did a hideous crime to me. That's harsh.
There were many great people that were products of that were
you better
bastards.
not say that.
Yeah.
Is that your
Yeah.
theory?
Yeah.
I don't care.
William the Conqueror of England.
How many kids can you bring here?
How many?
How many kids can you have?
I can't have it.
No.
God didn't give it that to me.
Exactly, so you don't get the decision.
Well, that's not the only.
No, because
Just
you
because
can't do
I don't
it.
make the
No, you
can't-
don't get to make a
because I don't-
decision about my body.
Yeah, not your body, but about other women. I want to save the
don't
best of the women.
And Roe versus Wade is not one of those. I heard you say that they murdered children. See,
Yes.
and that's
Yes, murdered children.
that's not true. That's not true.
Well, you
That's-
guys say they
that's-
murdered the immigrants,
And there's
and
they're still murdering the immigrants.
What do you think is the largest number of people by race killed through abortion? What population?
White people.
Yes, it is.
What
Yes,
color?
it is.
No, black.
It's not black.
No, it's not
I
black.
disagree with
We
you
don't have the
wholeheartedly.
money. We don't have the money.
And we don't have
Let
the.
me tell you, there is
we don't
space.
have the we don't have
Google
the
it.
population.
I have Googled it, and let me tell you why I know
Google
for
it.
sure. Because there is different stages. Because people know where they can go. Like when you get past a certain stage, you have to go to different states or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of black people don't have the money.
Well, it's not. Whose fault is that?
No, but you just said something. I'm just
whose
telling
fault
you.
is
It's
that?
not a matter of whose fault it is. I'm just
But
telling
you're
you that
blaming
your
somebody.
stats are incorrect.
You gotta blame somebody. For
No.
it.
I'm
Yes,
not dying on that mountain. The mountain I want to die on is if a woman is raped. How dare some
I'm
men
not
who
going to
can't
argue
even
that.
bring life
I
into this
concede
world?
that you may have part of a point.
No, I got a point, not a part, a whole point.
And also,
taken on a case-by-case basis.
and also, just by numbers alone, okay, what is the population of the United States? 350 million.
No, about 330.
Okay, then the population of blacks under 50 million. So just by numbers alone,
No, blacks are not that high.
just by numbers alone, that tells you who has killed the most babies. It's not blacks, it's whites.
Well,
All right.
if doctors and stuff, yeah, they would kill you.
Okay.
You see, stab it in the heart.
That's being dramatic. But anyway, back to his nomination. This guy has been trained, just like the president, not to answer questions. Now, this is a guy who is going to represent not just his party, but the United States of America. And he can't even answer a simple question. He was being interviewed the other day, and she asked him a question, yes or no. She's an attorney, too. She was like, I understand that. And he's trying to invoke privilege where you can't get a privilege, and she was like, I just need you to answer the question.
Well,
Kamala Harris.
Is his choice.
Yes.
It's his choice to answer. She can't force him to give an
But if
answer
I haven't done anything-
that may spiral off into some other area that's not
But
intended.
if I have done nothing wrong, I have nothing to hide. Why can't I answer the question?
Well, there
right.
are questions that are detrimental to a process that may hurt his case. And you got to be.
I believe every top should sit on his bottom. If you did it, you should be able to answer to it.
But
That's
you
right.
don't know what he did.
They had proof. They had it in front of
In
him.
his writings.
Because he kept saying, well, what did the paper say?
What was the question?
What did she say? She was asking him about something that he agreed to, and he said, well, what did the paper say? That was his response.
Because he probably, I don't know.
He did a mock trial for a whole week.
Okay.
During a mock trial, you know what they do on a mock trial. They get you ready. So what it was is they banned those documents. So he wasn't prepared to deal with what was on those documents.
Okay.
But if I did something, I should be prepared to address anything that I have done.
But you also have to look at the consequences of answering yes or no. Everybody knows that. Even a fifth grader.
Knows what? Yeah, like you had said something.
Yeah. Even a fifth grader knows how to the consequences of answering yes or no under certain circumstances.
How to lie.
I know a fifth grader that don't. Donald Trump is a fifth grader. He doesn't know how to answer yes or no or the truth.
But you got to give Kavanaugh the prerogative of answering the way that it favors his position.
Not when it comes to our money, my tax dollars. It's paying his salary.
But it's his tax dollars as well.
Okay,
And other folks.
tell the doggone truth.
And
so
he
I can get up there
he
and lie.
represents- huh?
I can just get up there and can't remember.
No.
Because when you don't
That's
know
not
the
intent.
truth, that's when you start to stutter. Now you don't even be a person that stutter, but when you start to try to make up stuff, you start backing up and kind of like you're doing right now when you don't really know and you just back up.
Yeah, you understand that I'm going to say this again so that you understand it this time. A person has to be aware of the consequences of responding to a yes or no question. Only a fool would blurt out something that would be derogatory and hurt his case.
Well, then he should have known the consequences. All right, when he did it.
Well, I don't know what he did.
Then it wouldn't be on
He's not
paper.
been charged with any crime.
No, they have an email. They
Even
have
if you have
several
an email.
emails. If you have an email from your address, you did it. I don't need a judge and jury to convict that. I can convict it myself.
Convict what?
that you did it. Own up to it. Whatever they were saying that he did.
See, you don't even know what
You
we're
write
talking
the
He did
paper,
so
and
much
you write the paper, then your name is on
I
it.
am
You
absolutely
released it at
confused.
midnight. I didn't get a chance to read all the thousands of papers.
Yeah, but you guys are talking on factual stuff that doesn't touch any substance.
Yeah, it does. Because
and-
the reason why everybody is so up against this guy is because he did a writing that says that no sitting president should be charged
Okay.
or have any special counsel appointed without him having power over them. They said that Donald Trump, wait, let me finish. Donald Trump released a list of
think I read that, too.
prospective
I think I read that.
judges that the conservative group that he listens to has selected. This guy isn't even on there. Now, you know he don't do his own research, but the reason why he stood out is because he did a writing that says that no sitting president should be able to be convicted or tried or even have a special counsel appointed without him being okay with it. So it would give all power back to him. So isn't that odd that our
No, it is
president
not.
of the
That's an
United
opinion.
States...
That is not a court ruling. That's an opinion.
What do you mean it's not a
He
court
can
ruling?
have that opinion.
So
But
this
if
is
he
why I'm
gets
saying
on
he
that
made
court-
the list. That's why he made the list.
If he gets on that court, then if it gets to the Supreme Court, okay, Trump's gonna get free.
Yeah.
All right, and that's not
He
right.
may.
Nobody's
You
against.
think
Nobody's
that's a
above.
coincidence? You
Nobody's
think that's a
above the law.
coincidence?
No, I don't know yet. I don't know.
Okay, nobody's above the law,
Ten-
including
but-
the president of the United States.
But that's not a court ruling.
No,
That's
but
an opinion.
No, I'm saying, but he said, but all you
He
need
said.
right now, that's why they're saying his opinion will level the court.
Okay.
So this is what they're saying. He could either, he could sink the court or he can make it go the other way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to have a level thinking of the Supreme Court. And so what I'm saying to you is that after they vetted all these people for this position, according to the Republican Party, they had a list. This guy isn't on the list. So out of nowhere, he didn't make, now the first guy was from the list. He didn't make the list, but all of a sudden one of his writings stated that the sitting president could not be convicted and he should not be questioned and he should not be have a special counsel without his permission. And all of a sudden he goes to the top of the list. You think that's by coincidence?
No, it's just like we sitting around here at this table. It's called the In My Opinion Show. What we say isn't worth a hill of beans
You better be.
because it is
That's
not.
factual.
it
You can
is-
go back and find this. You can find
No,
an
I'm not
article.
talking about that. I'm talking about the weight of an opinion. The weight of an opinion is not carry the force of law.
No, an opinion is not, but a fact is.
A
A
fact
fact can
is,
stand all
yes.
by itself.
Yes.
The fact is, this man was not on a paper. Fact, not opinion. This guy was not even on a list that was vetted. And vetted means they went through them, they interviewed them, they got them ready, they agreed with the agenda of the Republican Party. This guy was not even on the list. Now all of a sudden, he's not just not on the list, he's at the top.
How do you know it was the Republican Party, not the Trump team?
Because that's who signed it.
Who?
The list of suggested Supreme Court justices. You can go read it. They
Yeah, but I'm
published
talking.
it.
You
They
said that.
published it. They said
You
this
said it was the Republicans. How do you know it was the
That's what they-
Republican
that's what they signed
Party
on there.
leadership, the NRC, or the Trump team?
It wasn't the Trump team. The Trump team's not smart enough.
Oh, come on. They're the ones. They're the ones.
They
that,
haven't picked anybody. That's why we know this was his pick. That's why we know it's faulty. No,
and he's
no.
the only one that makes that pick.
And that's why we get to say what we gotta say.
Yeah, you got
Well,
an opinion.
This opinion is about to close the show. Until next time, to our millions of viewers, stay focused.